Dr. King, today is Wednesday, January 16th. I could not help but think about you. In fact, you were on my mind when the God woke me up this morning. And thinking about you, I couldn't help but smile. I smiled because I was happy, and I am happy. And I smiled because I liked the part of the speech where you said, and one day we will all sing in the old Negro spirit. And I thought about the slaves. I thought about how the slaves used to sing and to let the others know when they would be leaving the plantation. I smiled about the way they sang the song, letting them know the day and time they would be leaving. And then they would jump in there and hum to let them know where the meeting place was at. And I couldn't help but smile because even back then, we were inventing things and doing things, but not getting any justice. The only thing we were getting was a punishment, innocent people being punished, getting punished and abused and hauled away to jail and hung from trees. So I say that, Dr. King, so I can get on with Michael Elliot and the abuse of my mentally ill son. See, Dr. King, I still have not told the full story about Michael Elliot and his staff and how his employees and how they abused my son. You see, one day back in August of 2005, I called every television station in Savannah. I contacted the morning news because I wanted them to do a story in hopes that it would put an end to my son. But nobody would pay attention to me. So I couldn't help but think about the old Negro spirit song that you were talked about. You see, Dr. King, what they had in mind, the newspaper wouldn't do her story. Now, I must admit that WJCL came. It was a young man, a young woman, black. They came, and even though I had faxed this information to them, they wanted, and I had the information, a package for them to take back to the station, which they copied everything, and I gave them their package, and we got set up, and they taped the story. But it never got out. It never got out because they didn't want it to get out because it was the great the Reverend Michael Elliot, CEO of Union Mission. But I say that to say this. You see, just like those slaves sung those songs and everyone left the plantation, and then those who were smart enough left that plantation, I want the city, Savannah, and this country to know that you can't stop me from reporting my news, because I've warned you all on more than one occasion that if I don't get the news, if I can't get my news out here, I'll reach over somewhere else and touch. And that's why right now, Reverend Elliot, you are on this Way Up Tube page, this YouTube. You're going to stay up here until I get justice for my son and I get justice for myself. Because what you did to my mentally ill son was a disgrace. Now, I went down there to Michael Elliott's office on Farm Street, People World, to picket it. And I did. And the reporter showed up from WJCL. Michael Elliott and his staff came outside, and they were looking at me and smiling and pointing. I guess they said, oh, that fool is out there, and she doesn't know what she's doing. Because I've already spoken to my good friend, Kathy Harrington, and they're going to close that file, and she wouldn't know anything about it. Well, Reverend Michael Elliott, that's exactly what she did. And people, I would like to show you the sign that I took down there in August 17th. What had happened, because my son's shower was broken for over 6 weeks, and Mrs. Sabrina Wallace would not have it fixed. And I haven't mentioned Mr. Horace Luton name, but he was her boss also. He didn't have it fixed. In fact, in the first place, they told me if I wanted Benny to be taken such good care of, I should take him home with me. That's exactly what Mr. Horace Luton and Mrs. Sabrina Wallace told me, the site manager. Now, I made this little sign, went down there to picket his office, and the signs reads like this. That's the sign. All right? Michael Elliott eat fresh food while consumers eat expired food. And on the back it says, Union Mission CEO Michael Elliott. No, on the front the sign says, Reverend Michael Elliott took hot showers while a group home resident washed off and sank for over 6 weeks. Why weren't the shower fixed at its earliest convenience? Now, on the back of the sign, you can see it says, Union Mission CEO Michael Elliot ate fresh food while residents of Sabbath Group Home ate outdated food. And as you can see, people, here's the sign that I had picketing in front of Michael Elliot's office. But they were laughing and grinning at me. They thought it was very funny. Reverend Michael Elliot, it was not funny then, and it's not funny now, that you would go home, take your hot shower, knowing that that shower was broken, because I had told you the shower was broken, and you all still will not get that shower fixed. I don't see how you all could sleep treating disabled and mentally ill people the way that you treated my son and those other consumers. Now, for Miss Kathy Harrington, you thought you were smart, and you did to close that file, and you chalked that file full of lies. But little did you know that you weren't dealing with a dummy. You see, in the file, in the complaint file, you claim that everybody you all talked to say everything was fine. Well, Miss Kathy Harrington, everybody was not fine in there. Those people were scared to death, and they did what they were told to do by Miss Wallace. Because Miss Wallace told them if they did not, after Mrs. Pam Lipset from this, I can't recall what exactly where she's from, but she works with the consumers. But she came, ombudsman. She came from this ombudsman group, Pam Lipset. And after she interviewed with these clients, and she told them that if they needed any help or had any complaints to write it down, you threatened those people and told them that if they speak to anyone or tell them what was going on in their house, that you will put them out. One consumer in particular, and I have the audio cassette tape right here. So I want you to know that I have the audio cassette tape from this consumer, and I know for a fact that you did, because eventually you did put them out of there. Now, in the meantime, I did not like it then, and I don't like it now. And I am sitting here saying in this studio this afternoon that I'm not going to rest, because the God that I serve will not let me rest until everything comes out in the open and until we get justice. Now, Michael Elliot, you can be as mad as you would like to be. Say whatever you want to say. It does not bother me. I did not like the fact that you mistreated those people, and I prayed and asked God to bring me through it. People, it was a horrible thing to watch my son suffer. These are pictures that I've taken of my son. You might not be able to see them quite clear because of the fact that they're light. But my son was abused to the point until he looked like a creature instead of an animal. And these are the pictures that I'm going to put on my webpage. Now, if you want to know where I got those pictures from, this good doctor said to me that was treating my son. He pulled me aside when my son was swollen so big he was blind. He had to feel around for me because he heard my voice. And he says, Miss Curry, he said, I know you by yourself because I'll see you by, you come to see visit Benny. He said, and Benedict loves his mama so much. He said, all he asked about is his mother, so I know you all are real close. And he says, Miss Curry, it breaks my heart to see your Benny suffer, and you suffer like this, and no one do anything about it. So now you must take some pictures of your son and take some pictures of him, because when the day comes and you talk about how your son was and how he looked, no one is going to believe you. So that's why I have those pictures there. Little did this doctor know that I already had my camera, because like he stated, I am by myself. That no one will believe what I said, so I had to do everything that I needed to do to cover my you know what. You know what the military say, what they say about it. Cover your own. I had to do that. Cover your own aid. I just did just that. I took pictures of my son, and I've showed them to a lot of people. I showed them to my minister at church, Reverend Father Ross, and all of the church members at St. James, and it was like, say, what happened to him? It is a disgrace. No, people, I am not lying on Michael Elliot. Michael Elliot and his employees, they put me through a lot. But you know one thing, as I always say, I have faith that of Job. And I know how to carry my cross. So I hope and pray that you all know how to carry your crosses.